Thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Moses Kidandi. I work with Capital Radio. Your Excellency, I'll ask a business question. You took a bold decision to revive Uganda Airlines. As we speak now, Uganda has over $10 million stuck in friendly African countries where the airline is going to. At the same time, there's demand because of the progress and the successes that the airline is registering. It's meeting 85% of its running costs, which the government didn't project, because government, I think, had planned to finance it for over 5 years. But for now, they're meeting about 85% of the costs. And there's demand internationally that Uganda must have mid-range aircrafts. Your Excellency, how do you intend to support Uganda Airlines to have these facilities? As a trained journalist by Uganda Airlines in aviation, because it was a requirement that Uganda must have media that is trained in aviation. So I'm speaking at an informed point of view. Thank you, Excellency.
Kungu Adam.
Yeah, thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Adam Kungu. I work with Sanyuka TV and Radio 4. My question is about Somalia joining the community. Your Excellency, there are so many benefits of Somalia joining the community. The depth of Somalia's security problem raise so many questions about the bloc's capacity to ensure regional peace and security. As you clearly know, Your Excellency, that the East African Treaty allows free movement of people and goods across the region. There are fears and concerns of Somalia-based insurgents moving into member states. There are fears of unregistered influx of economic migrants. There are also fears of smuggling of arms, things that concern you as leaders in this region. And what's the plan? Do we intend to see the region deploying in Somalia, just the way it did in the Democratic Republic? And also relatedly, Your Excellency, are you also concerned as leaders in this region about some member states, some partner states of EAC continuing to block goods from other countries entering in their countries? Because clearly it shouldn't be, because it goes against the East African Community Treaty. Is it something that you're at strategic level as leaders in this region? I thank you.
David Lumu. Is David here? Okay.
Good evening, Your Excellency. My name is David Lumu from New Vision. During your inauguration for the 2021-2026 term, you pledged to roll out fundamental land reforms to cure the colonial injustices, but also curb the rampant eviction of Bibanja holders in this country. However, we know that this rollout has delayed. We are almost 3 years into your term. And second, you also promised the country that you will debate the Justice Catherine Bamugemere's recommendations as cabinet and brief the country on that subject. What has delayed these reforms, Mr. President?
Question before the President answers is Medi Ba.
Sebo President ninze Medida Akaba mukodomi wa Saabalwanyi okuva e Busoga. nkola NBS radio eyazaala NBS TV kasumba kweyagalira. Your Excellency, duzi ku mukolo gw'embaga iseife kyabazinga yakusiima bwe walagira embaga eyo eragibwe mu bitundu eby'endawulo. Seba Basoga basiima ino omulimu ogwo bakuba ati otatolanga okwo. Aye ekiri kubasumbuwa essaawa zino, Your Excellency, wasuubiza nti oyida kuyidayo oyogere nabo ku nsonga ey'ebibali. Your Excellency, omwaka gujja kuwaaku bakulindiriire tibali kubona. Ate ngeri abakulembeze mu Busoga abali kulagira bakozese ebibali nga bwe benda, nga chairman wa LC5 ow'Iganga ye yalagira ati mulumbe ebibali ninze ndagire president ndiyogera naye. Seba olituuka nga ebibali tebabidwiza mutyere nekibuzo. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency.
Now the first one of arrests without being taken to court, that's illegal. It's illegal. It should not happen. Anybody arrested should be brought to court within 48 hours. Now, the NRM foresaw all this, that yes, we have our principles, but they may not be implemented by those involved. From the beginning, that's why we had the two tracks. Track number one, principles forward, and put the policies and document them, because all these principles are written, and they are not just verbal. So you put forward the principles and the policies, and you write them. But they may not be implemented. We are aware of that. Especially we had problems with the AIDS. AIDS killed many of our cadres, the fighters. Many of the people you see in the army now, they are not the ones who fought. Our cadres were overappreciated by you people in Kampala, and they died from so we had to start afresh, more or less, to build the army of few people. Now that meant that the priesthood of the NRM was interfered with. If you see some of the commanders, some were in other armies, they were integrated. Others, young people. So there was definitely some gap. But the good thing is that we had put forward the principles, had written them, and then we had you people. We said in every area, mwelondere anabarwanako. You elect the ones who would defend your interests. Yourselves. Because remember, there was already a Gombora chief. There was already a chief. There was already DC. Abo wala baliwo. Aye omusoga nga bwakoba ifa banansiko. twakirengera ne tugamba abantu bano basigarewo aye kirungi imwe bana so from LC1, LC2, LC3, LC5, we had even LC4 yafuka umbaka wa parliament. So the plan is that if the administrators don't do what they are supposed to do, you people, because you are there, there is authority everywhere. Authority between Sato. Administrators were bari. Political leaders, abarondedwa abantu were bari. Security personnel were bari. All those, why don't they? Because they should be the one to expose this. Even now, you know, when I started my mobilization, 1960s, this is how we were under UPC, which was actually hostile to us, because some of us had belonged to DP, like in my Ankole Northeast. We had, our people were mainly DP. But as a card area in the 1960s, I was able to mobilize the people under UPC. Tell the people that, okay, UPC, yabba kalulu, akankaga mwevili. For 5 years, mbutuli yakola, that because Chiwanuka was to be prime minister. No, I told them, some of that opinion, mbutuzire, imiaka etano. From 1962 up to 67, abantu bange batyeme butyami omusogo akoba batyeme butyami, not to develop, separate. If or both government took power, right, I will develop Raistura, I will develop all the homesteads around. And if in 1967 we vote and things settle, good. If we don't, I will continue doing the economic. What may remain problematic. So we were able to work under UP. When I organized the Banyankore to have Sengenge. If you go to that area now, it is all Sengenge. Abantu basi ba Sengenge. The one who mobilized them, 1967, 68, 69. So the UPC of Mbarara went and accused me, said, Akana, the young boy, has made people to make okukoma shengenje, okusiba sengenge etali mu mateeka. So I came. I came with 2 elders, and we met Vice President Babiha. He was UPC minister but also minister of animal industry. And he was interested in animal veterinary matters. So when I came at Wandegea, we briefed him. We said, Your Excellency, what Someso okutenkwa n'okulonda mu ngeri y'omulembe. We have asked for land titles from Mbarara people. They have refused. So we have temporarily put Sengenge between our land. When I spray, my neighbor doesn't spray Enkwa, Zinumba. So in order to control that, Sengenge, see, this is not for land demography. This is for controlling cattle movement. The cows of my neighbor should not come to my farm to bring Enkwa when I have sprayed and he has not sprayed. So when those Mbarara people are ready, they can come and do their boundaries. But for now, this is temporary. Oh, then Babi has said, go over. You leave those people, they became stupid long ago. That the UPC of Mbarara became stupid long ago. And we, so you can do work for the people. Whatever government is in power, even if you don't support it, but you use the positives of that government. If there are some positives, you use them to support your people. So now, if, like in this case, if people are being arrested, what I would, if a councillor, or especially a member of parliament, I would document. On Monday, so-and-so was arrested. He was not taken to court on Tuesday. Bring facts and confront Prime Minister there, Nabanye. But with facts, not to come, because some of these people may not have time to cross-check. You need Okubayamba to get all the you bring it. Because you want to help your people. So therefore, the medicine for some of this, yes, for me to cross-check and discipline the ones who are misbehaving. Like for the rest, my staff, there is the police officer there, Assistant Commissioner of Police Kasinje, she's there, woman. Not a free informant here. Seems so. In intelligence, a walk, say this was a walk-in. She just walked in. So this man has just walked in, and he knows people who are being arrested for no good reason. Now I want to get like 4 or 5 cases, and then we go for the ones who did that. This is where we go for them. So there's a free informer here. I don't want to know. But really, the answer for this, it is for the whole population, especially the leaders, to compile and expose this to the relevant authorities. Now, the other day there was a debate in Parliament where the Minister of State, General Mohozi, made a statement to answer. This is what I've been saying, people disappeared, people disappeared, people disappeared. Now, it turned out, me, I was not following. Omanyeze n'emirimo mbeera ku mirimo kugawaza ensi yammwe. Sifuna budde bwa kuwulira ebyo ebitaliimu. So, but now I came to know that these pro-opposition groups, when there is an issue, they go to the NGOs to tell the NGOs, okwawabira Uganda, mu NGOs, bakuta omuntu abuzeewo, oba omuntu abuzeewo, report to the police station. They go to the NGO. Kubanga abazungu. Naye omuzungu munange tagenda kutaasa wano. Eno bagiyita Republic of Uganda. Bwe nawulira bwe ntyo. Ate owebweru okujja wano, nga si kyangu munange. Abaddugavu bakambwala dda. So that's why the information doesn't come, because you don't tell the one who should be, because report to the police station, kiteeke mu kataboko, bwino nti naloopa. If action is not taken, then we know whom to blame. So these arrests are illegal, and the way to fight them is by the people in authority should fight it like I fight it, but also the public should use the structures they have, democratic structures, to expose this, because that was really the purpose. That was the insurance. Uganda Airlines, two problems which somebody quoted. One was that some of the member countries don't have foreign currency. Me, I wouldn't worry about that, because I'm not Uganda Airline manager, but if I was one, if I've got a lot of local currency in Uganda here, I can see what to buy here locally, which I can take and sell where it is needed. They should see, because you have been hearing the debate in the world. Many countries want to go away from the dollar and so on. So if, like in Uganda, in the past when we didn't have money, now we've got quite a bit of money. But that time when we didn't have money, foreign currency, if I got a lot of Uganda shillings, I could see what could I buy within Uganda with the shillings. Then I could look at, do I buy cows and take them to South Sudan, or do I buy gold? Is there gold to buy? If there is gold, that's already hard currency. So they should be open-minded to that, because some of the countries may not have foreign currency easily, but they can see what to buy. Minerals, some of the agricultural products which are easier to resell, they can look at it. Now, Somalia, joining the EAC and having security problems. The issue of economic integration is about market, common market. Akatare, akawamu. Somalia is already part of the East African community. Because if you go, I'm sure, if you go to the shops, they are full of East African goods, I'm sure. When I went there, last time I didn't go to shops, but I suspect that Somalia is full of East African goods. Even before Somalia joined the community. So, if that is the case, why not formalize it? And the issue of insecurity, you people, you like foreigners. You're always busy with those people. You must have heard of the USA when it was developing. In the 1960s, I never went to, I think I went to film shows like twice in my life. It was a mirundi ebiri. Nagenda come from film wow. But I used to see advancements in Mbarara town, here in Kampala, even in Nairobi when I would be passing through Dar es Salaam. In those days, there were films called The Wild West. Wild West. The western part of the United States, which had a lot of insecurity. Films of cowboys, shooting, what, you remember? Huh? Those parts were already part of the United States, but they were insecure. But you couldn't throw away your cloth. Kubanga eriko sere. Sere mmanyi sere abawano abayayi b'omu town mmanyi sere. Tebagimanyi, so what can I hear? Sere banyankwere korito obukurra. Bwe omuntu obukwata ku ngoye zo when you are going through the bush. Not the bush, the gardens which are overgrown. They are the ones with sere. So I can't run away from my farm because there is sere. No. It is insecurity, but it is my farm. It is part of my livelihood, part of our structure. So insecurity, we shall handle it, but meanwhile trade is also going on. Because even within the war, goods are going. When we were fighting here, when we cut off Katonga, we were getting you fellows who like alcohol. That's when I saw something called Primus. I said, what is Primus? This is beer from Burundi. Primus beer was coming from Burundi all the way to Kayabwe here, Kayabwe near the equator here. So even in the chaos, the trade was going on. So why not bring them? Now, on the non-tariff barriers, this is, of course, unfortunate, but this is where we feel sorry. I feel sorry for you people, because I hear that there are 500 radios and TVs and Katimbasasira. Abo bogereki. What do they talk about? Bogera kuvuma Museveni. Oh, kale bagende mu maaso. Obekyo kinabayamba. But those radios should be talking about issues like the non-tariff barriers, because that's where your future is. Your future. Muliwa nomuzadde abaana bagenda kuzaala abaana. What is their future? NRM yabawabula ne bagamba nti integration is very crucial for your survival, for your prosperity. But people don't talk about it. They talk about, I don't know, okongera kuvuma ku Museveni, bogera ku America, you know what? But if you are really talking to you here, and the ones in Kenya, the ones in Tanzania, you are all talking about livelihood, how to survive, you people. Abalimye kasoli, ani anagula kasolo oyo, abamata, aba sukali, ebikado kamara. Then you would build up public opinion in East Africa, which would isolate those who don't see this. But you don't talk about it. You're talking about other things. I don't know what you talk about. European clubs, that you watch European clubs, football. Me, I've never watched a single European club. I stopped playing football myself. Why do I can play myself? Why do I have to watch others, especially Europeans? Nasembe okuzanya omupiira in 1966. That was my last time when I was in Mukisawe. Then I went to this job here, Obuyekera, and political struggle, ideological struggle. So these non-tariff barriers are really blind. Some few years ago, some people came here and said, oh, too far. Nti mufa ki? Omuchere gwe Tanzania gututta. Tanzania is bringing a lot of rice. So I said, and this is killing our rice. How can somebody kill me if I'm sitting here? And you're also sitting there, how do you kill me? Unless there's something wrong with me. Omuntu ajja omuceere Tanzania ne gutunda ku bbeeyi ya wansi okusinga ogwa wano. That means you are an inefficient rice grower. Norwecho, they wanted me to block the muchere of Tanzania. I said, no, I'm not going to do that, because because I block the muchere of Tanzania, Tanzania blocks something from you. When shall we ever trade together? So I refused. But I hear Tanzania still blocks. So I will go and see Her Excellency Samia say, now, I couldn't protect the inefficient muceere growers of Uganda nabagamba bwe mati musobola kuvuganya n'omuceere gwa Tanzania muveemu mugende mukole ebirala. You do other things. Because there's some unfairness. First of all, you are unfair to the Ugandans okubawaliriza mbu bagule omuceere gwa bbeeyi ya waggulu kubanga gwa bano these inefficient Ugandan so-called rice growers. So you are first of all unfair to the Ugandans. Naye ate oguddewo olutalo na Tanzania kubanga bw'oggalawo omuceere gwa Tanzania nabo bagenda kuggalawo ekirala. So I opened, and if you look at the figures, the trade balance now is so much in favor of Tanzania between our two countries. Uganda has got a trade surplus with all the other countries except especially Tanzania, but to some extent Kenya also. Because Kenya, I also hear they are blocking this, blocking that. Nayenze, Nagana, blocking omuceere. So I will discuss with Her Excellency. The integration means, because some of them say, we are giving you a quota of what to bring. Why do you give me a quota? Because this is one market. Katere kamu leka oyo asobola okukola ekintu more efficiently tumuguleko ffenna aba East Africa kubanga waliwo Tanzania like omuceere gwa Tanzania. If they are cheaper, let them, let's all mugule omuceere gwa Tanzania gwamwe muguleke muve mu bibali mwana byabadde agambako. Do other things. Amata tewali muntu asobola okuvugana na Uganda mu mata. Abalaalo balemera ku nte ng'enkwa. So there's nobody who can outcompete Uganda in milk. There's nobody who can outcompete Uganda in matoke. Ebyenyanja biri wano. So we have got things where Uganda has got a historical, maybe also even a cultural, kubanga abantu babiruddemu nnyo bino ebyomuceere salyanga ku muceere until 1960. When I was 15, that's when we tested it. We didn't give it a good name. I don't want to give you the name we gave it in Tungam. So we have got the areas where we have got a lot of strength. Our people from near the coast, like Tanzania, bebatandika ebyemiceere edda koragana n'Abarabu n'Abayindi babiruddemu. So they can grow the muceere. So we are going to, but it will be good singa obudde bwamwe mu radios and TV singa mubuteeka ku okunyonyola abantu ebikwata ku bulamu bwabwe. Because you are misleading yourselves. Mbeeramu ebyo byokugomaaza abantu. Because when you see countries like Latin America is richer than the United States in terms of natural resources. Amazzi, Emiga, the Amazon River, Ebibira, the Amazon forest, minerals. So Latin America is richer than the United States in terms of natural resources. but they are in misery because of the way they are organized, the fragmented market. Nicaragua, they are rich in presidents and poor in everything else. Excellency this, excellency that, right honorable, ebitiibwa byokka bijjudde eyo. Naye obwavu munange Latin America. So, what the NRM has been begging you, ati biwandiike nno, we have been telling you, do you want to be a Latin America in Africa or a United States of Africa in Africa? Singa mutandika okwogera mwena ebikwata ku bulamu bwammwe n'Abakenya nabo nimukwatagana nabo, because you find the ones who are pushing like okuteeka omusolo ku muceeri, just a few individuals serving selfish interests. They don't care about their own countrymen or East Africa. Now, land reform, it is true we have not done much on this bad land system, Mairo and all that, because we were diverted by Corona Munange. Corona yayingiramu. So I had to concentrate on saving you from dying, and I'm very glad that not many of us died. But it is true, we have not addressed some of the issues. We know them. Even the money, we had to divert a lot of money to Ebola, to COVID, to all the locusts. We have been getting all these. But the good thing is that we are moving forward, and at the right time we shall deal with the issue of the land. Although even there, what we had already done, like the 1998 Land Act, that act was very strong because it protected the Owichibanja. So when you see people being evicted, it's because they don't follow the Land Act. You know, while you're banasomako, the elite obutayamba abantu bawansi. That is part of the problem. Otherwise, the law which is there would actually protect those people. Finally, wetland encroachment. We have been busy with Corona, with what, but at the right time, we shall chase all those people out of the wetlands, because the wetlands, I don't know, the problem I see here, you people, you have stopped being Ugandans. Muri bantu balala, because in Runyankore, it's very clear. I think even in the other dialects, Eksharara, that's the swamp. The swamp is very clear. It has certain grasses which you find there. One particular grass is Ebigugu. I think it is Cyperum latifolia, the scientific name. Wherever there is a Ebigugu, that is a wetland. Then you get other grasses. You get the papyrus. You get the other grasses. So, even when they encroach, those grasses still come. Therefore, once we launch the campaign, you will not survive. The next batch.
Thank you, Your Excellency. The next questions are from Judith Kukunda, Elizabeth Ankunda, Elizabeth Kamurunji, Dora Atunjeire, and Sarah Kajingo, in that order. Remember, be precise. One question to the point. Thank you. Judith.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. My name is Judith Kukunda and I work with Uganda Radio Network. My question is about the recent regulation by the European Union regarding coffee exports from Uganda. The European Union last month issued regulations where it said that they are not going to accept coffee exports when they are not from farmers who are registered, and also when those farmers have not proved that they planted that coffee from areas which were not deforested. So my question is government worried about price drops, and where does this leave coffee farmers? For instance, if they are saying that they are not going to accept coffee by 2025, because I understand that the European Union takes 60% of Uganda's coffee products. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith. Elizabeth? We have to Elizabeth. Elizabeth Ankunda, are you around? She's there.
Thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Elizabeth Ankunda, India. Your Excellency, I will request you to allow me ask this question in Uganda since it goes down to a common person. Your Excellency, Ministry y'eby'ettaka ekyagenda maaso okugaba ebyapa ebisukka mu kimu ku ttaka limu. Your Excellency, ensonga eno yeeyongedde obutabanguko bw'ettaka mu ggwanga Uganda. Abantu, Your Excellency, besse bafiiriddwa ebintu byabwe. Your Excellency, ensonga eno y'amaanyi nnyo naddala mu disitulikiti gye nva nze ng'omuntu ey'eggomba. Your Excellency, bannaggomba ne bannayuganda okutwaliza awamu baagala kumanya, Your Excellency, ensonga eno egenda gonjoolwa etya. Your Excellency, ngenda kusaba ntwala akakisa kano nti olwaleero nkusinkanye okusaba nti bannaggomba bakusaba n'obukakkamu obusembayo obasinkane oyogereko nabo ku nsonga eno obuhumurize, Your Excellency, habw'okuba emitima yaabo eyalakirire. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Elizabeth Kamurunji. Please introduce yourself and the media house you come from or you represent. Thank you.
I'm Elizabeth Kamurungi. I'm from the Daily Monitor. Mr. President, will you...
Karungi or Karunji?
Kamurungi.
Kamurungi.
Yes.
It's not Kamurungi. It must be Kamurungi. Are you a Mtoro?
No, I am a Mnyoro.
A Mnyoro?
Yes.
Oh, that's in order. For Mnyoro, they say Kamurungi. It's true.
Yes.
So I thought you were a Mnyankwere who is distorting your Nyankwere.
No.
But Mnyoro bawaza kam. They don't put a Y, they put Murungi.
Yes. Mr. President, will you run for office in 2026? And on a related matter...
Remove your mask and speak, I hear. Remove your mask.
Mr. President, will you run for office in 2026? And on a related matter, what are your thoughts on the question of transition in a country that has not seen a peaceful one from one president to the other. Thank you.
Dora Atwanjere, I hope I've pronounced your name correctly.
Excellency, my name is Dora Atwanjere. I work with Next Media. My question is, it has become very common to see soldiers conducting or carrying out land evictions, and these are civilian land or court-ordered land evictions. This has watered down the reputation of the army or the force because these are just soldiers in uniform. Has something changed that the men in uniform or soldiers in uniform now have to come and carry out these court orders?
Thank you, Dora. Lastly, Osara Kajingo. Microphone, please.
Good evening, Your Excellency. My name is Kajingo from Soft Power News. Now, Uganda has carpet smooth roads across the countryside.
Has got?
Carpet smooth roads. Roads.
Smooth roads.
Smooth roads in the countryside, but it has become the norm in Kampala that every outlet to every suburb has potholes, to the point that Ugandans now make memes and jokes about it. Then the next is traffic jams. The cost of traffic jams and potholes to business in Kampala is immense. It may take 4 hours for somebody to drive from Nigeria to Kampala. What's the challenge? Is it that COVID impacted our resource pass? And relatedly, private sector foundation has been charged with organizing the Eastern African Summit, Economic Summit, as a prevent to the NAM. Nendooza bino kambyogere mu Luganda, abagenyi baffe tebabiwuliriza. Tuli mu kutya kubanga abakulu bajja kuba bali mu nnyonnyo, ne bano abagenda okujja mu summit bajja kuba basula mu hoteli zino endala ate nga bayita mu potholes. Ekirayo Excellence, mbadde nkusaba kubanga kijja kuba kya bulyaza amaanya bwe nzija wano ne sikyogerako ekyo bannange kiboogeddeko ekyokukwata abantu. Nze nali muto e Masaka ng'olwana, era abasirikale abo ab'edda baabuzangawo abantu, naye kati buli lw'ogenda ku Twitter olaba ekifaananyi omuntu ng'agamba basaala muli eyo musirise, ono omukyala, waliwo n'erinnya ly'omukyala gwe bayita Olivia Lutaaya. Olivia Lutaaya. Babeera bamwogerako, nakati bwe twogedde nti tujja wano abantu mbu baamusiba, alina abaana 2, mbu musibe, mbu ali mu court martial. Kati abantu babeera bagamba naye muzeeyi nga muntu w'abantu, ng'alina ekisa, ng'amanya abakyala, bano abalina abaana baabwe nga bato, lwaki ekyo temukyogerako? Ekirala nti buvunaanyizibwa bwa gavumenti.
Bamusubira bwereere.
Tebakyogerako kati oba tomanyi oba bulimba, naye bagamba mbu ali mu court martial.
But he can be in court martial for good reason.
Babeera bagamba mbu bamusibira byabufuzi.
The court martial is mainly to deal with terrorist cases. And so you get the facts. Bamusibira bwereere obaki?
Yes, sir. And then related to that...
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay.
Thank you. Your Excellency.
Now, If the Europeans say they will not buy coffee which is grown in land encroached from the forest, I don't normally agree with the Europeans, but this time I would agree with them. I would say, kakati abazungu nabo bogede kyamagezi. Because they don't normally tebakwata luguudo olwo. But in this case, if they say, kubanga baba banyambye nti abalumba ebibira emwanyiza mwe tetugenda kuzugula omuzungu ngenda kumwebaza nti kuno okoze kyamagezi. Because why do people go to the forest? Twabagamba dda forests, wetlands, zino ze mugamba. Why? I would agree with the Europeans this time. I would agree with them because it is really criminal to go in the wetlands. We don't kukambwara nnyo because you see the country is moving all the same in spite of those indisciplines. But the country is moving. More factories, more this, more that. But abantu abo abatawuliriza, we shall of course deal with them at the right time. We shall deal with them. But why not listen? Because when we came from the bush, they had encroached on the whole of Mabera. I chased them. That Mabera had disappeared. When I chased them, it has come back now, Mabera forest. Kubanga amini yali yabagambye nti mugende mu kibira tekirina mugaso. But I ordered them back, and the forest came back. So even these forests will come back. It is because we are busy. Like now we are handling some issues. Then these ones divert us here. But we shall. They will leave. They will leave. So if the Mazungu have put that pressure, that's good. I like it. Multiple land titles of Gomba. Gomba no ruga hiyo mwana. Chahi. Now, but even here, you see the Botwawangura UPC, we didn't fight in every corner of Uganda. Twasoka ne tukubira UPC Ruwero. Yensongolera bagamba akanyigo ka Ruwero. Twagamba nti UPC jangu wano tukubire kiwoko wano. Nitulemere ebyo mu Ruwero. Nibaleta amagye from West Nile netugakuba. Baleta gawa netugakuba. Until Obote collapsed in Kampala. We were still in Ruwero. So, ebi byemugamba nti abanyankole call it okutunjika ekyapa ekindi obu mu Luganda bakyogere batya to put something on top of the other one. Kutika Ogatika. Oh, okay. So, singa ankunda, singa onfunirayo bwino yebyapa nga bina bisatu. N'oyinfunira nti kino nakoragana na kubanga eyo yonna Chahi, Bianja, Madu, eyo namulina obukulembeze. Buli eyo. Why don't you work with them, you and Nkunda? Koragana nabo, tufune bwino, like 3 cases.
Your Excellency, actually my uncle is a victim. Nyine uncle wanje.
Now, don't okutonzia. Okutonzia omu Luganda bakwita batya. Okwekubagiza. Tebanange enfudde biki. Ngambo nyabonye. Now, you just get bwino. Bwino of your uncle's land, and bwino of another one, which you know, and bwino of another, like 3 of them, and give them to that police officer. Then we come in, because this is like a civic duty. Bomu omuna Uganda asomye. If you have come across such misuse of power, why don't you help by okulambika? Bakita kulambika. Kulambika is what? To lay properly. Then we kill those 3. Do you remember what abantu betwakwata abali baba sent in Prime Minister's office? They were called Obey, and another one. Kazinda. Abantu abo bali babye sente nyingi ne tubakwata, and it really became no kufandoza abasinga bafu. I don't think they even arrive. Bali ruzira.
Bali mukomera sebo.
So, if we now make an example, singo tuyamba ne tufunako betutuga.
Kubanga etteeka ebyapa bingi eby'ekikanga ekyo ebibadde bigattikaniddwa, minisita wa lands abadde abisazaamu kubanga etteeka likikkiriza, n'ekirala minisitule ya lands efuba okulaba nga ekozesa ebyuma bikalimagezi, information yenna ebeere ku mutimbagano ogwo, kijja kutuyambako okumalawo okugattagatta ebyapa ebyo.
Yeah, but Okusazamu is not enough, because we want to punish the one who did it.
Your Excellency, we have developed an IT system, the Land Information Management System, where if you are titling and that land is already titled, you will know. So if there is a case of multiple titling, it is just fraud. It means somebody has deliberately just committed fraud, because now with the IT system.
But Nkunda is saying that she's aware of so many cases. That's why I want her to just get me 3 cases. Okay? Okay, now, Nkunda. Now, Uganda question 2026 transition. We shall deal with that at the right time. Omanyi the problem mwerwaza blood pressure. Mubera mukwera likirira. What is your problem? You have got enough problems handling you now. Ate no yongera ko ne byukwera likirira obo kusajja ogunagenda.
Waliwo n'abalala abeeraliikirira olw'okuba baba tebaagala kuluzinga. Kweralikira kwa mirundi ebiri. Waliwo abeeraliikira oba gunaagenda. Naye waliwo abatya nti oba anaatulekawo.
No, but if you know that NRM is a rational political force, ate waliwo byekozeeko myaka gino gyonna bwe tutuuka ku tusalawo bwe tuti. Why would you worry that because 1971 Amin yaja mu buyinza? No, 1966 Obote yamenya constitution. Netutuula netwogera netusalawo nti kati gire tulindako. We didn't go to the bush, although we didn't support what Obote did. 1966. That's why I was telling you, during that time, I was busy promoting the land enclosure system in Ankole. Now, Amin comes in 71, and we see to say, this time, to no kurwana. Iyo NRM yo bwesalamu. 81 netusalawo nti bali bagamba bino musirike nedda. This time if we kusirika, Uganda agenda will collapse completely. So we decided to fight. Then all this time we have all this, we come 1986, then we say, what do we do now? That's why we said, now, for now, to just tambura ku Mugendo. You remember the NRM broad base. Then we constitutional assembly, constituent assembly. Then abakulembeze bensikirano, big issue. Tukole tutya, this one. Abagala kubakomyawo abakomyawo si kyampaka. We are always dealing with all those issues. Kati niwerwaza blood pressure. Like we have done with all these other issues. I remember 1989, when we decided to invite the ANC here, the group of South Africa. They had been chased from Angola. They had nowhere to go. I had a cabinet meeting, a big debate. Some of the ministers opposing, so no, don't bring ANC here. If you bring ANC, the Wazungu will attack us. The South African whites will bomb us. But now, the South African whites don't want these people to be in South Africa. They don't want them to be in Angola. They don't want them to be in Uganda. Where do they want them to be? And we are here? No way. Let them come. The reason we... So, all these issues can be debated and decided on rationally. Then I think it was 2005, the March Party. When was it? 2015? 2005. Because March Party, until we say, okay, mbaleke bagende, abagade bina bagende. So, similarly, this issue of 2026 will be decided. And transition is always happening every 5 years, because that's a transition. Transition within continuity. What do you think about that? Kuwanga buli myaka etaano waliwo okuvuganya singa tebawagera ono abaddewo, there would be no, would get a transition. So opportunity for transition is always there every 5 years. For the last 30 years. But the only problem they have is that NRM has overperformed. So the majority of the people keep electing it. This is the problem. Ekyo kifuuse musango nti lwaki NRM abantu bajagala. The soldiers in land matters, I would issue an executive order. They will get out. We have discussed it in cabinet. I have not had time to draft the executive order. They will get out. And they should not be part of land matters. Soldiers should be fighting, not in Munsambu. Whatever Musirikari are Munsambu. In Sambu, was it in Sambu? In Sambu, land boundaries.
In Salo.
In Salo, in Shambu is in Nyankore. In Shambu. Bolaba omuserikale ali mu nsalasalo z'amataka omanyi nti oyo si muserikale. Omuserikale abeera mu ddwaniro si wano mu by'amataka. Oyo muserikale wa kika ki? Kajingo, good roads up country. Then here in Kampala, the roads are bad. It is actually part of the same story. What you are saying is actually the truth. That in some countries, in many, I suspect in many countries, especially in Africa, the towns are very well developed. Then you go up country, terrible. For us, of course, there is also some bad planning in Kampala, but I think there is also the overall orientation of our thinking. Like, I have not followed much these small roads, potholes. I have not followed them up. I don't know. The other time, my daughter took me to some of them. But in my head, I have the plan of the whole country in my head. Remember, the points of the compass: north, south, east, west, northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, northwest. This is our plan for the roads. And you can check it. From here to the north, directly north, is all tarmac. The road is excellent, small, but good. Up to Nimure, that is north-south. From here to the south, there the road has got damaged to Mutukura. Mutukura, the road has got damaged. It had been done, but it needs to be done again. They are going to do it. That one, south. Now, east-west, from Maraba all the way to Mpondwe. You can calculate the distance. It must be like Malaba is 140 miles from here. Kampala, Fort Portal is 200. Then you add to the border is like about 80 miles. That's a distance of almost 500 miles of tarmac road, east to west. Then you go northeast now, northwest, Arua, all the way to Koboko, northeast, all the way to Moroto, southeast. So, if you, now that, what does that mean? Bariumunsi, I think it was Bariumunsi or somebody, no, it was Ramaram who said it had taken him 2 hours to go from Mbarara to Kampala, but it took him like, I don't know, 4 or what in Kampala. Okay, that's a problem. But he moved very fast from the periphery to the center. Now the problem is in the center here. Now, if we had concentrated on the center, and the roads were very good in the center, but we did not have that penetration, would that be good? I don't think it is. I don't think it will be good. So, even in Kampala, I have advised them to handle the Kampala in the same way. North, south, east, west. Then if you remain with the bad road, they should be the smaller ones, the ones which are linking. So I think when you are assessing the roads, assess them holistically. Holistically. Because like somebody coming from the north, he may not encounter those bad roads. Those bad roads are in the industrial area, Munda. But from the north to the post office center of Kampala, the road in Kawempe is not so bad now. It has got some small bad sections near Marago, but the other road is all right. From the east, the road in the Namamve area had got bad, but I think they're working on it now. So you would find that these main directions, east-west, north-south, southeast, even through Kampala, the roads are not so bad. It is these other ones, these Amatavi. So somebody is saying, No, I'm talking about the main ones. Even through Kampala. Because the one from Hoima, which is the northwest, all the way to post office, is it bad? I've not passed through Nakurabi recently. Namungona has a problem on the Hoima Road. Oh, okay. I will not pass there recently. But this is how, in my view, because our main task was to link the country. Is the country linked or not linked? Because that's the main one. The Maridadi, if there's interruption with the linkage, I get worried. But Maridadi one on Nawadi. as long as the linkage is there. Now, Narutaya, you find out the case about Narutaya, about Museveni Bwerere. Kasinje, get in touch with the Jingo. Let's have one batch of 5 questions and we end there.
Your Excellency, we actually got some questions from your Bazukuru country. There are 3 actually. There's one from Mbale, Lango, and West Nile, and then we'll add, I think, 2 more from here. So, team, if you can just play those questions. Thanks.
I work with and for Elgon FM Mbale. Your Excellency, the general concern from Bugisu is about the government intervention to relocate people living in landslide-prone areas in Bugisu region. Over the years, we've lost so many people due to landslides and mudslides. And always government had promised to relocate people living in landslide-prone areas to safer places. But it seems the plan is taking longer. Your good people from Bugisu are willing to listen. Your plan to relocate them to safer places since we are expecting more rains next year. Thank you a lot, Your Excellency.
My name is Matua Job Richard, CEO, Organization for Transparency and Advocacy, Uganda. Mr. President, I come from West Nile, precisely Maracha. Right now, the biggest problem in West Nile next to poor electricity is the network of roads. The roads are very terrible, Mr. President. The road from Koboko to Yumbe to Moyo, which is the World Bank funded project that you launched in 2021, is in a very terrible state. The road from Nebi to Zombo to Arua is very bad. The road from Nebi to Arua is very bad. Mr. President, what is your plan of doing these roads before 2026? Because in 2026, one of the issues that will determine the voting pattern in Western Nile is the road network. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. My name is Elvis Ajwiha. I work for Voice of Lang FM in Liram. Your Excellency, you may be aware that Lango sub-region is known for supporting football. And we would like to know from you, what are the plans that the government of Uganda is having for Akibwa to us AFCON Camp 2027? Thank you.
Okay, we'll add 2 to those 3. Patrick Kamara and Henry Mulindwa. So, Patrick, you have a question here? Give him the microphone.
Thank you, Mr. President. The last time, Mr. President, we met, I had a conversation with you. It created a lot of excitement, but I don't want to go into that. I want to look forward. I know you're very passionate about the oil and gas sector. And you recently said that the pipeline was not your choice. The refinery was your choice. In fact, the pipeline, according to you, was a compromise. Up to now, I don't know whether you are clear on whether we shall be able to have the refinery, because that was your first idea, as opposed to the compromise. Do you have a sense, with all respect, of frustration that what was your flagship idea has been overtaken by the compromise? And I'm not asking another question, sir, but you have challenged us.
That is one question. Thank you very much, Sir Patrick.
I wanted to make an elevator pitch on the East African community.
Could I have Henry Mulindwa? Henry Mulindwa, last question.
Thank you, Excellency. My name is Henry Mulindwa. I work with the inspector. Excellency, you have been passionate about power generation from different sources. And in this case, I'm talking about power generation from bagasse which comes from sugarcane. You know, there are some companies, for example, Kachira, which is producing power, and it was licensed to produce 50 megawatts, of which 20 megawatts are used internally, and then 30 megawatts go to the national grid. But recently, when I took tour of this factory, I found that they are not producing that power as they are required. They are producing actually 8 megawatts. The reason being that they don't have the raw materials in the form of sugarcane. And what they are saying, the managers, is that the raw materials are very scarce just simply because they have so many factories around Busoga, I can say. And there is no regulation to regulate location of sugar factories. So what are you going to do about this, sir? And when are we going to have a bill to regulate location of sugar factories, sir?
Thank you, Your Excellency.
Okay. Now, the landslides, well, I'm glad that the Bagisu now and the people in Mount Elgon are worried about the landslides, because that's what we were telling them all along. But they were being told by their leaders that it doesn't matter, that encroaching on the forest, because that was part of the problem, encroaching on the forest reserve, that it was all right. It was the culture of the Bagisu to eat malewa. Malewa is some bamboo, something. But we were telling them that, you know, those days, people were not cutting the forest. They would just go and pick malewa and go back far away. Now, uprooting the forest is very dangerous for you. So it seems everybody now is convinced. But let me ask the Prime Minister, because the Prime Minister has been very active in the resettlement.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, you are aware that government has provided 10 million per person to be relocated, in addition to the 7 million given by Give Directly. It's an NGO from America that has come in to assist us. Your Excellency, Give Directly has so far already given 4,000 homesteads out of 5,700. And the government of Uganda is starting in January to also give the 10. You know, for us, before we give you the 10, you have to sign a consent form, which consent form is an agreement between government of Uganda and the people in Mount Elgon who are going to relocate. There are those who do not want to go to Bunamutie, who will be given money and they go and settle elsewhere within the districts of their jurisdiction. We are starting with Bududa with 2,000 people. After that, we shall go to Manafa until when we cover Mount Elgon area. Your Excellency, this was your directive, which we are implementing. We have been taking data, and we have also told these people to open up bank accounts with the Post Bank, which is done. Your Excellency, we are ready to go, except that Ministry of Finance has not given us enough funds to start once and for all. But they have so far given us 10 billion, and that will relocate 1,000 people. That's all I can give you, Excellency. Thank you so much.
Yes, so now that we have, people have woken up to the danger that the land is abandoned by the population and it becomes forest, so that the forest protects, because the trees with their roots in the soil, they hold the ground. They hold the ground. So when you remove the trees, the soil is bald-headed, and the water can wash it away. The omtunga, omkoka, Muruganda, utwaletaka. So now that people have agreed, the rest is just details. You hear there is a plan supported partly by, originally we were carrying the burden of looking for land for those people. But later on, they also agreed that mtuwe sente tugende tunonyewe tunabera ourselves. Because I may not want to to go and farm in Chiriandongo, I may get the 17 million and open a kaduka in Mbari. Fine, good. So we're giving them cash now. That's what you hear. But I'm glad people are now running away from the danger. Now, the network of roads, you heard what the man was saying, exactly confirming what I'm saying. He was saying that, of course, you, the newspaperman, you don't know those places. So, but I don't suffer from that disadvantage. What he was, you heard him talking of Koboko, Yumbe, Moyo road, that it is bad. And then he talked about Nebi and something else. But he did not talk about Pakwach, Nebi, Arua, Koboko, because it is already done. It's already done. The part between Pakwach and Nebi town had gone bad, but they have done it again. Also the part from Karuma all the way to Pakwach, a long, long stretch. So the parts he's talking about are the ones which are still Maram roads. And we have a plan to do using the refugee money. I should have asked Katumba to be here and answer that. But using the money for the refugees, we are supposed to tarmac Koboko, Yumbe, Moyo, Laropi, the ferry. We have already tarmacked the road from Atiak to Ajumani to Laropi. It's already tarmac. So we are going to tarmac those roads, that road. And we are also going to work on the road tarmac the road from Nebi to the border, to Goli, border with Congo. Now, the other Maram roads, our directive is maintain them as good first-class Maram. A few months ago, I drove on a very good road from, I think it is Obongi to, or was it from that section, Obongi somewhere. Very good road. Maram, but strong and well done. You wouldn't feel any bump at all. So therefore, for the district roads, we have added 1 billion for each district, plus whatever they were getting before, so that they maintain the Maram roads. But by having gravel or Uyinja, compacting them properly, then making drainage. So we are aware of we have the plan, and we have also said, don't make new roads, don't tarmac new roads without maintaining the old ones. So that sector is going to be consolidated. Akibua. Some people have been making some issues about this Akibua. The NRM doesn't believe in touching everywhere and ending up being nowhere. No. We believe in the wisdom that kamu kamu gwe muganda. One by one makes a bundle. So when you hear that these roads were tarmac all the way to Moroto, all the way to Sebei, it is because we prioritized. I think they told me in Uganda they call it Oksoso Waza. Oksoso Waza. To do one thing first and then do the other thing. If you look at the budget, in many of the years, the money for water was little. But the money for the roads was more. It's not because we didn't think water was important. It is because we knew that you don't have the capacity to be everywhere, to do everything at the same time. So therefore, when it came to stadiums, we only did Nambole. We built a Nambole using Chinese grant, which had been sitting there since independence. When we came, we used the money, we built a Nambole. It's not because we didn't know sports. We know, I'm a sportsman. But you cannot touch here, touch everywhere. No, you will not make any impact. So we said, what Uganda needs is peace. Like that area of Kapchorwa, where many of these young people are coming from. We have not built, we have just built one stadium there now recently. The training center, the Teriet high altitude training center, we've just finished it now. Otherwise, we hadn't done much. But indirectly, by funding the army, because we funded the army, to bring peace to that area, which had been in war for almost 40 years. So these young people, these Cheptegeis, when you see them running up and down, it is because they have peace in where they are coming from. Even if we have not done other things, but the peace, which had to come from the budget. So the question was, what do you start with? There's no peace here. There are also no stadiums. So what do you start with? Start with a stadium without peace. I was sitting now, so confidently Dembe. Then I can even run in the hills, in the what, no stadium, what. After all, cross country is not in a stadium. Cross country is cross country. Cross country means you run in the bush. So this is why we have not done many stadiums. But I alerted my people, I said, you people, we have Nambole, we have now repaired it. Some of our people are working on Nachivugo, on a PPP arrangement, Chugundu boy, there's a boy called Chugundu. Then I am the one who said, if we get money, in fact I wanted to get a loan from the Chinese to do Akibua and Buhinga in Fort Portal. I am the one who proposed that. And we tried to talk with the Chinese about the loan, but the loan didn't come. But we kept Akibua and Buhinga on the front line. Abamuganda wagambira nti twatukyali awo. Because the Africans are never in a hurry. It is as if they were just there doing very little, then something happened. To what Chariao? I don't know, some of our people got involved with AFCON. Is it AFCON or what? That one there. AFCON banana. To East Africa, Awamu, they want to host this AFCON. Okay. Kuanga bompuriramu East Africa, akamwenyu kaji. Okay, let's do it together. So we put in application. They went to Cairo with the other people, Tanzanians, Kenyans, and we got AFCON. Katonda yabaza AFCON. Now, when AFCON comes, it comes with its own bukwakulizo, its own conditionalities. Say, you must have 3 international level stadiums. I already have 2. I've got Nambole, Unumwana akoze nachivugo, so I have 2. So I'm looking for 1. I'm going to build a Kibua, because that one was the one in my head. In my head. So those rankings should not take my idea. They have now taken my idea. It's Yahweh. It's my idea. So I said, okay, to Funesente, let's get money and work on a Kibua. It should be the 3rd. About AFCON and budget. Omanyi, kubanga feturu ba wantu ba wagulu nnyo. We are very high class people. The stadium, because the stadium, we shall play there, but also practice there. But no okuzanyirayo ate no kwemanyiza. Okay. So that means we must be able to move by air. There must be an international airport nearby. You see now AFCON, now how it has brought problems. An international Kisawe, near an international airport, kati Akibua yange najikola nti. So that's how we had now to go from airfield now, from stadium to airport now. But airport becomes now the best factor. And you know the democracy of the Ugandans. But now, in Kampala, we have got two AFCON will take twice, it doesn't matter. But Kampala this other one, Nambole and Nachivu, fine. Those ones have the airport nearby, so our Nachivu. But now, other international airport which you have just built, in fact, I was thinking of Guru. I say, okay, if that to get Guru Kuanga Wario, Exawe Guru doesn't call Chamaje Maridadi. the army are not like what Afcon wants. Afcon is in Wakuls. Ghana. Because my next case, if it is how about Peche and Gursa, talk about because it is not what, it is not what, it is not. There is Afcon, then there is IATA, there is. There are so many, you get lost. So now that means we're to get Hoima. That's how we went to Hoima. So Hoima, the consideration is now not the stadium, but this one which we have just built for something different. The airport had been oil for about oil, Bagaga, Tebarengamwe, Okugabanti, he lands in Entebbe, then drives all the way there. Tanabudde at Mutwamanyo. The airport, so that the Bagaga come, land straight and go. Okay. Otafiro tafuna. You know the Banyankore in the past were not eating. The Waganda were the ones eating chicken. So one day, the shuttle of Muganda spoiled to put there something. The Muganda said, Atafiro tafuna. So you know you're such young and angenda kukulia. So now the airport determines the stadium, the football. Our national plans are fair. We shall do. We are beginning to think of doing even others. Akibwa, Buhinga, Bugembe, Rieyo. If you go to Soroti, there is a football stadium there. Mbare, there. Kacheka, Mbarara. We are going to do all those. Please, don't mix up our plans with this Afcon. What do you call it in something which comes, what bonanza or what? Something which comes, which you are not planned, which just came. That's the logic. Now, if we start now saying that we must build an airfield now of that's not. Yes, there is an air, but it cannot be turned into an airfield of the type they want. Not even Soroti. Soroti, they don't even regard it as that type. Now, the refinery will be built. We are going to build the refinery. After we have got very good players now. Now, the electricity is using enough electricity. Our Bible, Uganda, whatever a man he reaps. We talk people how say it. Is it zoning? Zoning. a factory of sugar with its outgrowers. People opposed it. Said, no. Let the Bikajo be Cheyagaje, whoever wants. We try to. So what has happened now, because sugar cane is not one of our priority crops for the poor people, and the one which I gave in 2018, the 4 sectors and 7 activities. Sugar cane is for either medium or farmers. So it's not for the small people. And much of the land in Busoga is by small people, small pieces of land. Now the big people had rented land from the smaller people. That's why they were trying to grow the sugar cane using rented land. But that one has developed a crisis because I think the sugar price fell or something. Now, because of that, there's no more sugar, very little sugar cane. And because of that, they don't have bagasse for electricity. Therefore, the answer is to go back to what they refused. To say, Kachira, and then Minister of Industry was licensing many factories, even the ones without sugar cane. Why do you license a factory without sugar cane? Why? But because of Buriomo Dume, Buriomo Nume. So we had to withdraw a bit. Now you see the crisis. So the answer is please go back to, and there's also another issue that Uganda is not very competitive in sugar production. Bring my booklets. Bring my own 2 copies here. So sugar cane, because Uganda is high altitude, our altitude here, 1,000 meters above the sea, is not so good for sugar. It's not like Brazil. When you hear that Brazil is growing sugar, it is sea level, low-lying and humid. That's why you find some of the countries like Swaziland, they grow sugar cane better than here. There's what they call sugar recovery. If you take a sugar cane, how much of it is sugar? I think it is like, you can check the figures, I think ours here is like 9%, while the other ones in Swaziland is more. Check that. So our sugar is not very competitive. But because some of the people don't listen, they have been pushing our people to do sugar, avocado. So that's where the problem is. But you read my document. I have never, I'm not an enemy. You know the problem? I think my chances of going to heaven are quite good. Amen. Because I treat the people of Uganda as if they are my own children. I can't. What I tell my children is what I tell the Ugandans, all of them. Because I cannot tell Omunaku of 2 acres that you grow sugarcane. The question is, how much will he or she get from 1 acre in a year? And if the average land holding is only 2 acres, it means that he has got 1 acre for food, the acre for money is only 1. If he chooses the wrong enterprise, he will never get out of poverty. But these people talk about Ugandans as if they are their enemies. How can you recommend to your people to grow sugar cane when you know they have got only 2 acres? Are you an enemy or what? But they don't listen. Cotton. In the north there, Moses Ali, I told you, this cotton. How much do you get from an acre in a year for cotton? I think it's like 1 million shillings, including costs. So if the land holding is 2 acres per homestead, how can they get money from cotton? West Nile, tobacco. That's why bring my book. I went around, everything is in writing. I don't think these wonderful people, informers of the whole country, I don't think they have ever read those booklets. But Katonda Jari, God is there. So that's why the crisis of electricity. Now let me conclude, you people. For me, I had 5 points for the end of the year. First of all, I congratulate everybody for nearly ending 2023. We are remaining with a few days. Katonda Yabare, God be praised to bring us this far. On this occasion, I've just 5 points. Point number 1 are the pressures we are getting from outside about the homosexual bill. Some of the people may be worried. Oh, this pressure. But me, I'm not really worried at all. This is because this is an opportunity to clarify one point, that Uganda can stand on its own. And some of us are indigenous people of this area. This is this is our area. For the last more than 1,000 years, we have been active here. The Europeans came for a short period, they went. Our communities are very strong. The problem has been the leadership, the leaders who don't know what is crucial and what is secondary. Like you remember, for instance, when there was the war in Ukraine, you remember people were saying, wheat. I told you, but you people, why are you concerned with wheat? You have got muhogo here. Oh, they laughed. Oh, muhogo. Muhogo is richer starch than, those doctors can tell you. Muhogo is richer starch than wheat, especially millet. Millet is richer starch than. So, for me, I am confident that you shall manage. And you can see, you can look at our economy, it's growing. Look at the inflation. Inflation is one of the lowest now in the whole world. Inflation now here is 2.3%. You ask the inflation in America, you ask them. You ask other countries. Why is the inflation low? Because we told our people to produce food. And through NADS, we have been spreading the production. That's why there's so much food now. And we have got all these other raw materials. So therefore, the economy will grow in spite of the pressures. And I would advise those ones who are putting pressures to stop, because it's not good for them. They will get a bad reputation, and we shall prove our point that African countries can stand on their own. The second point is this residual terrorism by the groups in Congo. I want to thank His Excellency Tshisekedi. Some two years ago, he allowed us to hunt ADF in Congo, and we are doing it very well. So even the other day, we attacked them very badly in Congo. This morning, our aircrafts were there attacking them. I have not checked the results because I have been in meetings. But we are going to wipe out those groups and their leaders who are in Congo, who send these young people to come and die here. But in the meantime, even during this festive season, I would like the people to be on alert, because you see the border is open, and we don't close borders. And I have discovered the idea of roadblocks, because they are blind. So whatever we do, somebody coming from Congo, he can enter. Nobody can say we can stop you from entering from Congo, because even if they don't go through the border point, they will go through the bush and enter. So what is crucial is the intelligence, which we normally have, but you can't get the last minute you may have, but the terrorist is right ahead of you, but especially the vigilance of the people. Like during this festive season, when people are in the churches, they are in the mosques, they are in the markets, transport on the buses, because these are people who are not known in your area. They are coming from, they are trying to infiltrate from Congo. We try to identify them. If we get their pictures, we put them on the social media. So with vigilance, we have been able to stop many of them, like the one who wanted to plant bombs near Kayanja's church, and the ones who had wanted to plant bombs near the pork eaters in what was the place? Komamboga. There was also this other one. Kansanga. Kabalagala. Chikuba Mutwe, eh? Was it called Chikuba Mutwe? Chikuba Mutwe. This is vigilance. So please, vigilance. These are easy to detect because these are people who are not known in your area. When you see them, see somebody you don't know, challenge him and call the police. There are not many because we are really on them inside Congo there. We are hitting them. But until they are all eliminated, you can't rule out that one or two can sneak. Like these 10 who sneaked through because of laxity of our people near Mpondwe. They came through a place called Kayanja, near Lake Edward. The area is cultivated, and there's only a Kasumaro bush where they hid, but our people were not alert. So they passed, 10 of them. We have now killed 5, arrested 1, there are remaining 4. And it is these 4 who killed the people in Kamwenji. But we are hunting them. And we are also working up the LDUs to ensure that Because these are easy to deal with. If we had LDU in that area, they would have dealt with them. So therefore, on the issue of terrorism, I want to report that we are really dealing with them on the other side. They try to come behind us to divert us in their simple thinking. They won't, but in the meantime, vigilance on the side of the Wananchi. Now, the third point is wealth creation. This is the message. I have done the experiment from 1966. I started with the Ankole area, and this booklet from Owilza, from grass sites to Matafara houses, captured that story of how the area can change. This one here talks about the activities which can support low-income people. Now, we have been talking about this since 1995, but the message does not sink so easily. But there are some people who really run quickly. Recently, I was in Kagadi, in Kakumiro. There's the boy there, the boy called Biamkama, our minister, young minister of state. He has quickly learned this. He has developed the 4 acres model and put it on the ground. I visited the place. He's selling 302 trays of eggs per day. 302 trays. You know how to count the magi. Is it a magi? I think there are 24 eggs in one tray or something. 30. There are 30? Yes. Wow. So he's selling 302 trays per day. He's producing some milk from a few cows in the shed. Then pineapples. He grew pineapples. Then he has got pigs. So he told us, who were all there, that each month he makes a profit of 55 million shillings from 4 acres. 55 million shillings. Profit after removing the inputs. So the boy is getting 600 million shillings from 4 acres. So omusajja waffe bamutumirinya nti bali baseka. Abali baseka. Those who are laughing at me. Omuganda yatuma omwana we erinnya lya abali baseka bajje bandabe. The ones who are laughing at me, let them come and see what has happened. So, of course, I've got other people like Nyakana in Fort Portal. I've got my area, Kisozi, my area where, because me as a leader who has got high hopes of going to heaven, I cannot be a neighbor to poor people. Ogw'omuziro sirirana baavu nimbeerawo omugagga ndi wakati w'abaavu nineebaka ekiro nenzikuka ku makya nenziramu neebaka ekiro ekidda Katonda awo tagenda okunyiigira. So I fought with those Chisos people they now have income, all of them. In fact, kubanga bali bansaba sente bali bantega kusaba sente. I hear now that they are looking for me to give me money. Mbabano ya Museveni kumuwa sente. Kale, that's good for change. So therefore, the wealth creation is not a story. There are people who have woken up, and they are good examples. And it will be good for you people. Because remember also, you need to improve your chances of going to heaven. Bobera already olimba. You think that's the end of the world. You know, I have been here watching since 1960. Abantu balinga nkabarugirwe as if somebody has okuloga abantu. You know, the way they were doing things, UPC, what, thinking they are very strong, they are what? So be careful. When you get a chance, don't misuse it. You have got a chance to be on the radio, no limba. And you know you are telling lies. Liso dene wali. Akulaba. Be careful. I watched people here as if they were bewitched. All these were young people. All of them, Obote, Mutesa, Adokonechon, Kakonge. The whole country was in their hands like this. The grandfather, there's a rumor monger there. He had a grandfather who was part of that group. Dr. Emmanuel Lumu. Imiraba kurabe gwakasajja. Naye ate yali musajja muwanvu naye kanu simanyi. Dr. Emmanuel Lumu was our first Minister of Health. He was among the 5 ministers who were arrested and put in Ruzira. So please, ekigambo kya wealth creation. Kati mbawadde bwino waliwo abantu abakoze ekyetaagisa ne baganyulwa. You check on them, get them and tell their story. I've told you about Byamukama, I saw him there. Nyakana is in Fort Portal. My groups in Kisozi, I have got 2,300 homesteads, my neighbors. I think 1,700 of them now have income. I've got my girl there. What is her name? Narwanga. Narwanga is the one the girl I educated, whom I made the manager there of those Ebyaromwenda, my 9 villages, Ebineto Day. So wealth creation is possible to get out of poverty. The Ugandans who are there, I'm telling you, if you want, you can learn. If you don't want, the one in Akolada. Now, number 4, corruption. Corruption, it had started getting bad, but the good thing is that the masses of the people are the victims of the corruption. The corrupt are the few. The majority are victims. So it is easier to isolate these corrupt people. And we shall definitely do it. The other day I was in Kororo there with the Bayai, the ghetto children. They were all there. If you hear their stories, NRM can again, because when we were fighting, we mobilized the peasants. Even the urban, the urban people, we mobilized them. 1968, I was in Katwe with the Abawejere, led by Saba Wejere, Abbas Chibazo, and people like Zubair Bakari. So the NRM can mobilize the disadvantaged to fight the parasites. And we are going to do it. We are already doing it. You saw what those young people in Kororo. So therefore, I would want everybody to take part in this fight against corruption, because it is the one which is wasting our time. Those pressures from outside cannot damage our chance of development. It is this corruption which is the problem. In other words, the internal problem is the one which can cause us to miss our targets, not the external. Finally, as I said during the questions, we need to emphasize regional integration by showing and linking up with the other East Africans, the win-win of the involved in regional integration. Because like Uganda, I have been supporting the Kenya industry with my pocket since 1964. When I went to Mbarara town and I found there the KCC milk, the milk which was coming from Kenya, I started buying it from that time until recently when our own milk sector grew up. We have been supporting, buying the Kimbo, you know, we used to buy something called Kimbo from Kenya. So using our pockets to support the prosperity of Kenya. So everybody must wake up and know that regional integration is the correct way, and everybody should implement it fully, not in a selfish way, because that one will make us fail. I thank you, and I wish everybody a happy end to 2023 and a happy 2024. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Before we play the anthems, would I ask Barbara Kaija to give a vote of thanks?
Good evening, Your Excellency. Thank you so much for giving us this evening to address us as the media, but also to address the nation. We appreciate it greatly. Your Excellency would also like to request that you give us more such engagements. We know you have a very busy schedule, but when you talk to us and we appreciate the national issues, it becomes very easy for us to do our job. I'm sure that I speak for my colleagues when I say this evening we wished we could have a lot more of your time, but we appreciate your national responsibility that you have to do other things. I would also like to speak on behalf of my colleagues to say we've learned a lot from you, especially on the improvement of encouraging the household incomes. I think most of the radio stations and TV stations and the newspapers have got a form of entrepreneurship program or farming program. And some of the journalists here have also entered their own personal farming activities to make sure that they can learn on the 4-acre model. We would like to wish you and your family and Mama a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. After the national anthems, Your Excellency, the team would like to take a photo with you. And after that, please, after you've taken the photo with the Excellency, please come back. We have some chai, wali, and some administrative stuff that we need to sort out with you. Thank you very much. Anthems, please.